The following statement is false. This video is about metaphor ReFantazio. Look, I know that from my community post on the renaming of my metaphor demo video, that it seemed like I was gonna make a metaphor ReFantazio series next, but I realized it would make me seem like an Atlas-only YouTuber, and one of my many YouTube influencers mentioned that it was a bad idea, coupled with the fact that my little sister asked me to play it on Christmas, so I've decided to do this series instead. Mario and Luigi Brothership is a game, no surprise there, featuring the beloved Italian duo known as the Lionfield Brothers on a journey to stop the dishwasher pasta pandemic. As the brothers Mario and Luigi, you must go through the torn apart lands of Concordia, which was recently separated by a dark force, to reconnect it back to its former glory. Along the way, you'll meet allies and enemies, new, old, and refreshed. Face wild challenges, interesting platforming, as well as taking on the great evil known as Mark Zuckerberg.
Smoking meats.
This is Mario and Luigi Brothership. Alright, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't expecting this game to exist at all. I heard some time ago that the old team behind the series, Alpha Dream, went into bankruptcy, and I thought that we'd never get another. And I thought we'd never get another Mario and Luigi RPG ever again. Then came the Nintendo Direct of June 2024, which showed off a 3D mayonnaise and lingerie in the old Mario and Luigi art style, and was like, yeah, this is a new Mario and Luigi game set for November 7th, which, not to be extra, made literally everyone lose their bloody marbles, including me, but I didn't want to show it because I was in a Walmart at the time, and I didn't want to freak out people because I don't want to be seen as weird to them, but I digress. So, I decided to wait until Christmas. After it released, but before I got it for Christmas, I heard somewhere that, I think it was from like a Failboat, from a Failboat video, that IGN gave this game a 5 out of 10, which was shocking and bizarre to me. I still wanted to get the game because it seemed cool, I was excited for it, but overhearing IGN's opinion gave me a sort of anxious curiosity to see what this game was like, to see the actual game that IGN thought was mid at best. So, with that being said, let me take you through the beginning of this little revival. So the game begins and Luigi's already being harried by bees.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees!
Which launch him off a cliff. But before Luigi can make a Luigi-shaped hole in the ground beneath him, Mario saves his brother just in the nick of time. For some reason, this makes Mayo and Linguini's hands glow, which then summons a portal to swallow them whole. And it's not just them either. This vortex portal consumes Princess Peach, Bowser, his son, Starlo, and a few henchmen from both Peach and Bowser's posse. Then it disintegrates Luigi and sends Mario into the blinding light.
You look a little worse for wear, my friend.
Oh no! Mamma mia! Whoa!
So yeah, welcome to, welcome I guess. I don't know where I am, but wherever we are, this place has some question mark blocks in it, so we are fine.
Leroy
so we are fine-ish. We then explore this strange island, fight these little sea guys, and watch the specter of our dead brother do things, like pushing this rock. After we wait for Luigi at this cliffside to find us, I guess, we hear the voice of our bro and see an odd-looking ship sail by. We go to jump on it, but our jump can't clear the gap, and we get saved by the real Luigi. But before we move on, I just want to point out a small thing about Mario's new 3D model. It's now part magenta, which reminds me of the fact that YouTube's new progress bar is now slightly pink as well. Anyways, moving on. Luigi shows Mario around the ship, which is actually an island named the Chip-Shape Island. Ooh, very creative. And introduces his bro to his new boss / captain. It's none other than the pirate legend herself, Connie, and her first mate, Snoutlet. Yeah, I decided to give Connie a pirate voice for this playthrough. Welcome back. Did you find anyone who can help with the great wall? Because I thought it was funny. Anyways, she is here to explain our predicament and what has happened to this place. Alright, time for some lore. So, this place, the place we've been transported to, is called the Lands Between. A vast, detailed world. Wait, sorry, wrong name. Its actual name is Concord. Wait, sorry about that, wrong game. Its actual name is Concordia. It used to be a beautiful world filled with many Accordians. Concordians, who lived in harmony nearby their signature landmark, the Unit Tree, which gave them a lot of connector and happiness, I guess. Unfortunately, one day, the magnificent Unit Tree, strangely, without warning, just withdrew. And now the lands have become a bunch of islands, separated, without the light of the Unit Tree to glow with them. This would be a horrible situation to live in forever. But, thankfully, Connie is a botanist, which is someone who takes care of the Unit Tree. And though she may be inexperienced, she has actually grown a new Unit Tree and is now setting out to reunite all of Concordia. Where is this Unit Tree, you might be asking? Well, it is right here. It's literally the mast of Chip-Shape Island. And it will also guide us to the places that we need to go to continue the plot. Now that we have gone over the lore, we can now get down to the brass tacks of reuniting Concordia. It seems tough due to the fact that we have several islands hidden among this massive ocean separated into 5 sea chunks. But the process is quite simple and is easily separated into 5 steps. Step 1. Find an island using this cannon. Step 2. Use the cannon to launch ourselves towards the island. Step 3. Go through the island and reach the lighthouse. Step 4, pull the plug on the lighthouse. Step 5, connection, featuring a little dancey dance. Of all these steps, step 3 is the most complicated in the process, since each and every island has their own little problems that you have to deal with, and politics that you have to possibly solve. But, since this is the early game, the first few islands will mostly be tutorials, possibly with light puzzles and little mini games as well. Though I have to warn you, later islands are definitely gonna get much more complicated. But that's in the future. For now, let us return to the present and explore our first island, Rumbla Island.
Oh yeah. It's a cool.
Welcome to Rumbla Island, an island that houses many craftsmen who craft with stones, Luigi. Stall. To get to the island's lighthouse, we have to seek out the craftsman chief. To get to the island's lighthouse, we have to seek out the craftsman's chief, whose name is Wilma, and ask her for permission to climb the Rumbla dish, their sacred thingamajig. On the way, we see these exercise balls called guard arms harassing some of the Concordians here, and like the good Samaritan heroes we are, we go stomping on the balls. And here's where I'm gonna really quickly talk about this game's combat. If you played this game or any of its other siblings, then it's business as usual, besides Luigi using A to activate things, which is strange. But for those who have little experience in these types of games, mom, dad, little sister from the future, I'll real quickly go over the combat in this game. When you go to jump on enemies by yourself, you'll just need to press A and B whenever Mario or Luigi's foot touches the enemy's head. It's very simple. But if both brothers are active, they'll try to work together to crush their enemies. If you want an easy way to remember which buttons to press for this combo, just remember the sayings ABBA and BAB. Whenever you're attacking with Mario, all you have to do is press A, then B, then A again for Mario, ABBA, and press B, then A, then B as Luigi, BAB. It's very simple, and many other parts of the combat we'll get into later are all about pattern recognition, and it's very, very simple. Unlike previous games that have certain skills and moves that require quick reflexes to deal the most damage. There are a few other things that you can do while in combat, but those come later and I'll explain them once we actually get them. So anyways, let's go back to Rumbla to continue the story a bit. After shooing off the guard arms, ending them, we do some more exploring and find the village's front door. But it's not open. And it won't open unless someone opens it from the inside. Thankfully for us, Luigi decides to use his brain for a bit. Sorry. Luigi decides to use his brain for a bit, which allows us to witness his Luigi logic. Okay, now let me just go on a real quick tangent about this gimmick. Luigi logic, at its most simplest level, is Luigi essentially going, I have an idea! And then he does something to continue the plot forward. It's not a bad gimmick at all. I think it's actually kind of cool and funny. Allows Luigi to do some funny, pretty cool stuff. Like pull turnips and stand still for a bit. But I personally know that this gimmick was made by the spirit of Alpha Dream as an apology for the Paper Jam incident. If you aren't aware, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam was one other MNL game. MNL. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam was one other Mario and Luigi game made by Alpha Dream before they went into bankruptcy. But it wasn't liked by a lot of people. It had many problems that I won't get into for the sake of this video's runtime. But one problem that many people did not like was its straight up bullying of poor Luigi. In previous games, he was usually very clumsy and goofy, and was sometimes the butt of the joke, but he had heart, and the games usually supported this, and sometimes made him, like, very, very important to, like, the story and stuff. Mostly in Dream Team, which was during the year of Luigi, which tried to make Luigi the coolest dude ever for, like, 1 year, and then then it just basically so yeah, anyways. But for Paper Jam, there was nothing. Literally, mostly everyone, Peaches and Starlo specifically, just mocked him for his incompetence. This bullying practically ruined his reputation and made some people question his gosh darn manhood, for Pete's sake.
Does he got a micro penis? Does he have a micro penis? I saw the Matt Pat video. I don't think that's true.
After this unintentionally angering of fans, the spirit of Alpha Dream, through Acquire Comp, who worked on Brothership, basically was like, yeah, to fix this major Luigi bullying, let's just make him an unconventional genius in this game as an apology for the thing that we did there. Yeah. And in my opinion, it worked pretty well. So I'll just stop this tangent right here and move on. So anyways, we enter the village, do some shopping, see Chief Wilma get back pains, as well as stomping guard arms, and then we can finally tell Wilma about our plan to put Concordia back together. And she, impressed by our plan, grants us access to the mountain to climb up to the Rumbla dish. He also talks about our children for a bit, which I don't think will be very important at all, but yeah. So we go to the entrance while also doing some things like collecting coins and these music notes for clothes. We got dirt cheap flair for all that. But we can't actually enter the mountain because those ball boys, the guard arms, were like moving around these carved rock fruit offerings, and we have to do some platforming and Luigi logic stuff to take the offerings or rock fruit and put them on these weird tongue holding things. Oh no, not too high, don't tell me.
Oh yeah.
But then we can get to the Rumbla dish. Get this key, use it to make the stalagmite holding up the dish freaking explode! Granting us access to the Rumbla lighthouse and allowing us to pull the plug on this island. Yay.
Okay. Wait,
And we're done. Connected Rumbla Island. Bravo. Yay. Once on Ship Shape Island, we're introduced to these little guys named Sprite Bulbs, which, in the words of Michael Mouse, are a surprise tool that'll help us later. We also find this ominous purple capsule, which, shockingly, has someone inside of it. We don't know who it is, but we decide to let them free, only to realize that we can't open the capsule unless we smash it up like how Carrie Nation smashed up Dobson's saloon because the Lord told her to. That's a real story, by the way. Search up Carrie Nation on Wikipedia and go to this section. It's kind of nuts. Bad news, the only way for the bros to smash is with some hammers that they don't have. Good news, Wilma knows who we can go to get hammers. Her children, build it and make it. Unfortunately, they left to go eat at different diners before Concordia broke apart, and now they're stranded near two separate restaurants, the Rainforest Cafe and Hard Rock Cafe. In game terms, it is Rainforest Island and Twisty Island, okay? Shabingus. I honestly thought we were gonna do only one island and give one sibling and leave the other sibling to their demise or something. But no, we'll actually come back for the other sibling after we save the person in the capsule. I decided to go to Rainforest Island first because I was more interested in than Twisty Island. But I'll let you know up top that the island we choose first actually dictates our accessory dealer and their requests. Yeah, this game has some side quests too, but I'll explain that later. You can choose whether or not you want special gloves or special accessories down the line from build it and make it respectively. I'll show off what each kiddo gives, but I'll let you know that I personally feel like build it gives better equipment later, but that's not here or there, so I'll move on and try to summarize both islands real quickly. Our first stop is Rainforest Cafe, a place with funny chameleon lizards and... let me just... what are they called again? Oh yeah. Parachutes. As well as a Grampy turnip. In this game there are a total of 18 old radishes who will give us some advice and, if it's golden, give us some supplies for our journey after seeing certain amounts of Grampy turnips. I won't tell you where they are though. Go seek out the Grampy turnips yourselves and ask the golden ones for help if you need it. We also find the aforementioned build it.
He sounds like a Street Fighter character. He sounds like Ken doing what is his name? I don't know the meaning of failure. Look it up in the dictionary. You'll see a picture of me looking confused. Skilled build. Scream, shout, let it all out. Passion's what about? Yell, roar, go hardcore. You're gonna always get a 100% already. Yeah! Hadouken!
It will make us the hammers if we can reconnect Rainforest Cafe to our big old island. So, like rational people, we go do that. On the way, we do some platforming, use Luigi's brain to save some toads, press some flower buttons, and pull the plug on this island. We're sort of officially done with Rainforest Island. And we now have a cafe in arm's reach, which is nice. Here we are on Twisty Island, where we find Make It at the top of this hill, rhyming to herself. Warning, the following paragraph is written entirely in unorganized rhymes. If you or a loved one know how to rhyme and hate how bad the upcoming paragraph's rhyming etiquette is, skip to this timecode here to save your ears for another day. Due to the separation of the highland, the giant twist and spun shrunk on this little island. In order for it to move up, we gotta get our groove up, and thankfully nearby is a hero, as we meet the legendary Groove Master Dio. Unfortunately, his hair is in a weak funk, and he won't move like a tree trunk unless someone gets him some hair max. Some hair max? Unless someone can get him some hair wax. Now that would be a slam dunk to the hair max. Actually, I'm keeping that in. So the pair run into the forest, seeing swordboards and parachutes to the florist, to seek out the lady who looks fair to ask about some wax for the hair. Unfortunately, she is frightened at the sight of worms, and her heart tightens as she thinks we are those burns. So we platform in freeform to meet her, then skeet her away from the tube-formed swarm of worms. And her chateau she rewards us to the max, for she gives us a nice tub of Max Glam hair wax, which we go back through the tracks to give to the dancing jacks.
Brando started starring as Elvis Presley.
After that funny groove, good old Diode asked us to smooth. Even though I failed it once, I didn't fail it twice, because I ain't a dunce. Twist and Sprout grew, which is nice. We make it to the top lickety-split to tell Make It that we intend to transmit this island to the ship in a tidbit, and that she should book it to the connected Earth ship to see her brother in a minute. Woo! Oh, that was tough. Back on Ship-Shape Island, Builder goes to town making those hammers for us, which we use to free the person inside the capsule. His name is Ark. He teaches us about currents. He also warns us about some shady stuff happening at the Great Lighthouse Island, but that's for the end of the video. Let's move on to talking about hammers, and countering as well. Hammers are very simple to use. You press X to swing Mario's hammer, and press Y to swing Luigi's hammer when you're outside of combat. When in combat, it's just like Abba and Bab. Just remove the third button press, and make sure the hammer starts to glow before you press A or B to deal maximum damage and get the excellent. But these hammers aren't just to hammer in spikes. They can also be used to counter enemy attacks as well. One thing that this game does differently from other RPGs, that I kind of like personally, is that dodging isn't left up to chance. You can manually dodge, and sometimes even counter enemy attacks if you're precise enough. You can counter by jumping or using hammers, but it always uses A and B for simplicity, which is nice. You also have an emergency guard as well. Just hold the right bumper on your Switch control, and Mario and Luigi will put the hands up in emergency guard, which reduces damage. I didn't use the guard button much, but it can be pretty useful if you're inexperienced at dodging. Anyways, once we get Make It back on Ship-Shape Island, because we have to do that after freeing Ark, we meet up with our friends, learn that Rumble Island's in trouble, and set course for the next island. Wait, Rumble Island's in trouble? Yeah, remember those bouncy ball dudes we fought back at Rumble Island? Yeah, they're back with their boss. Cause a greater ruckus, like knocking down this cool art tray at the beginning of the island. Those ball boys even come to us seeking a fight, which we obviously win swiftly. But during the fight, we find out that the guard arms can now move their arms around to switch between an anti-hammer defense and an anti-jump defense, which is kind of neat. In order to stop this chaos, we have to beat up their boss. But he's holed up in his little area over here, and in order to get inside of it, we have to find and collect these two giant plugs and put them in these outlets in the ground. It was a bit of a challenge since we also had to deal with the guard arms and the Seedles who are attacking us as we're delivering the plugs. But we make it to the outlets, open the door, and finally meet the guard arms boss, Grumbler.
Grumbler doesn't like you.
He doesn't take kindly to us.
I'm gonna destroy.
Grumbler is the first boss fight of Mario and Luigi Brothership, and he's pretty cool for a first boss. Just like his lackeys, he can guard against jump attacks, and just like his lackeys, he can jump. Just like his lackeys, he can guard. Man, I can't. Just like his lackeys, he can guard against jump and hammer attack. Just like his lackeys, he can guard against jump and hammer attack. Just like his lackeys, he can guard against jump and hammer attacks as well. But he also has a full fighting power TM mode where he does a Ginyu Force pose and then really goes bananas. I'm talking swinging his arms like crazy, throwing rocks around and sliding on his belly, doing waves and stuff as well. And his name? His name? It's very fitting that he does all this crazy stuff since his name comes from gorilla and rumble. But even though I do see that he's supposed to be a gorilla with the whole big arms thing and bananas attitude, his face kind of reminds me of Boom Boom from New Super Ryu, which I ain't complaining. It's just his face, man. If I can't unsee it, you can't unsee it either. His battle theme is really good. It feels goofy, but it's also a bit serious sounding too, kind of like the previous boss battle theme.
Yo, yo, yo! Ah!
Oh yeah, it's Luigi time. Yeah, you can use Luigi logic in boss battles as well. You're telling me Luigi logic can be used for your chores and to slay your enemies as well? That's amazing! I wish I could use it! Look, I don't know why, but this Luigi logic specifically is just really hard for me to master. I can do all the other ones just fine. It was like, they're very easy, but smacking this rock back at Garumba's face is a challenge that I just can't get a handle on. I don't know why, man. Anyways, after actually using the Luigi logic properly, we beat him up for a bit and he fainted. But before we can calmly tell him that smashing people's artwork for attention isn't really cool and that he should try to remedy his actions, maybe cool it down a bit, his aunt, Chief Wilma, shows up and is like, don't worry your freshly grown mustaches, gentlemen. He's my little nephew. I know how to deal with his silly little shenanigans. Then Wilma decides to kill her nephew. I'm joking, she doesn't really kill her. But just look at her tough love attack. It looks like it could just kill a person if this wasn't a cartoon movie. Just watch. Mamma mia. Don't you think that's a bit much, Miss Wilma? Don't worry. He's a big kid. He'll be fine swimming back to shore. Oh. I realize as I'm writing this script that this video is gonna have a lot of me explaining things in this game. So let me just real quickly explain 3 more things before we move on to the next island. Those being levels and ranks, bros attacks, and it's a rock. As an RPG, you can level up in this game. Shocking, I know. And like some games, it also has ranks as well. Basically, after getting to a certain level, you'll rank up, which will grant you a bonus that can range from getting 1 more stat value per level up, to giving you another gear slot to use, to boosting damage while using a specific attack, or even just reducing damage overall. It's pretty good, but there are 2 caveats. First, you're limited to 7 bonus slots out of 14 bonuses that you can have per brother. And second is the fact that certain bonuses are locked to certain ranks, besides the final rank. So you'll have to choose wisely every rank up. You can choose whatever you like and how you want each brother to act. But I personally wanted each bro to be similar to each other overall, and made the bonuses reflect that. For example, at Shell rank, I just gave both brothers an extra gear slot so I can use more things. Yeah. Oh, and after the Grumbler fight, the residents of Shipshape find these 2 shells and give both of them to the bros, which grants us the red and green shell bros attack, which I'll explain now. Bros attacks are essentially magic spells that use a special SP bar, or BP/bros points bar in this game, which will deal damage and have certain effects. Each bros attacks are split into 2 sets. 1 set's for Mario, and 1 set is for Luigi. But I won't bore you with the details of each of them. Basically, all of them are simple pattern recognition games. But I will show off each excellent bros moves, as well as giving some tips for each bros attack. For both of the shells, you just press A or B whenever the shell is near their respective brother. Just remember that the red shell moves faster and hits one target, and the green shell moves slower and hits multiple targets. There's also Issa Raw. She's practically a second set of Grampy Turnip side quests. She's some stone carver poet girl that looks at reefs for a reefs. Raggy. Took away my vegetables, Raggy. You can actually help her out by using your cannon to point out reefs with funny designs on them. And once you find certain amounts, you can actually talk to Issa Rock and she'll give you some items as a reward. There are 20 total reefs in this game, so keep an eye out for all of them. Alright? Alright. Let's move on to the next island now.
Mario! Let's go!
Oh, bonjour! Welcome to Floral Island, where the music is French sounding and the flowers will make you a twirl. That's the gimmick for these islands. Yeah, I'm not doing this the entire time. You jump on floating flowers and they make you spin and twirl. There isn't really many enemies here, just some green and blue Skittles. Sorry, Seedles. They're both similar to the normal seals. The normal seals? They're both similar to the normal Seedles we saw earlier in the game, but this blue one specifically has the monstrous, terrifying, ungodly ability to heal its allies. After walking through these wonderful fields for a bit, we encounter some toads. We try to help them out, but unfortunately, they're found across a gap that we can't reach just by jumping. However, Luigi brain blasts for a hot second and then has Mario do a salsa pose with him, and then they become a UFO. This is one of 3 bros moves, not to be confused with bros attacks, which are used in battle, that we can use outside of battle to platform and puzzle solve. This specific bros move, called the UFO spin, allows us to traverse gaps that are too big to jump across. Like, for this, oh wait, this isn't the right footage. Hold on, let me just finish up this mini game real quickly. Never mind, it sucks. This is literally just a muscle minigame from Bowser's Inside Story, but worse. I.e., it has no music to rhyme to. It just has the ding 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 thing. This was genuinely so frustrating for me. And we have to do this 3 separate times. Please, Acquire, please do not make me do this minigame again, please. Anyways, we cross the gap to talk to the toads, complete this horrendous rhythm minigame, get up the flower hill, and get off this island to hopefully never play that minigame ever again. We then have to go back to Floral Island. Why, you may ask? Well, you see, Kind decided to take a trip to the newly connected island for some reason. Unfortunately, according to Ark, we need her for the Great Lighthouse since we can't actually travel to other seas using the Unitree's light alone. It can only connect currents. What we actually need is the light of the great lighthouses to grant us access to the other sea. But in order to activate the great lighthouse, we need a witness. So we go to Floral Island to pick up our only one. Once we actually find Connie, she starts to reminisce to us about her mentor, Kazet, and judging by the fact that this game isn't showing her eyes, she's most likely part of the big bad who caused this mess to happen in the first place. But before we get Connie back to Mother Base, I want to explain two more things very, very quickly. The first thing is gear. There are 5 types of gear shown here. Most gear just increases your stats depending on which of the 5 types of gear you're equipping, but some have special effects like making you more lucky or allowing you to deal more damage while jumping. Gloves and accessories always have special effects for you to use, but you can only equip one of each per brother. The second is side quests. After completing an island, the game will give you a batch of side quests to complete, which can range from fighting enemies to going fishing. Sometimes these side quests will be marked red, which means that they'll expire if you don't complete them soon. So do it immediately. Take for instance Ark's Scope. It's just one fight and a cutscene showing Ark's dad, Patriarch. Funny name by the way. But it'll give us Ark's Scope, an accessory that boosts XP gain if you don't get hit by an attack, which is pretty nice if you want the brothers to level up at the same time. Most side quests will usually give you some items and beans, which can raise one of your stats depending on the bean, but not much else. I won't show off all of them. Play the game if you want to see it for yourself. But I will be showing off the ones that I find most interesting. Okay, that's it. No more explanations, hopefully, for the rest of this video. We get Connie back, watch the Unitree reconnect to current. And then we travel all the way to the great lighthouse island of Lushgreen Sea.
It's a goal, huh?
This is it. This is the place. Once we cannonball onto the island, we won't come back until we get to the top of the lighthouse.
Luigi?
Captain Connie will also be joining us on her trip, but she won't do much. She's the supervisor of this expedition. The Marlboro Pack will be doing most of the hard work. Unfortunately, the front door won't budge, so we're gonna have to break in through the basement of this place. Once we're in the basement, we actually encounter Capnabs from Mario and Luigi Dream Team, which is neat. Glad to see those guys again in 3D. As well as some metal Thorbs from Bowser's Inside Story, though they're called Spikeleys now. We also see a ton of Spite Bulbs, which are Want a Sprite Quainberry? We also see a bunch of Spite Bulbs, which are Sprite Bulbs that lack connector and are very, very angry. If we relight the Great Lighthouse, we'll hopefully restore at least some of them, so we gotta do this mission quickly. The first area has these wind tubes that, when activated, allow us to UFO spin indefinitely, which we use to carefully platform around to get to this switch to allow Connie to climb up these stairs. We then go down to sub-level 2 and hear a massive roar coming from behind this definitely not foreshadowing gate. We also meet Dewey Fightum, a dude who researches monsters and never thinks about danger. He then immediately thinks of danger from the mysterious monster's growl. I mean, come on, man. It's not that dangerous. It could just be like a hungry growl or something. Nope, that's an angry growl. In order to actually throw hands with this foul beast, we must search for these 2 giant banana-colored plugs. We get the first one easily, but in order to get the other plug, we have to use the first plug that we got from the upper path and plug it into this outlet. We then have to do some platforming while having Luigi stand near a button to hammer on it at the opportune time for Mario to do said platforming. Once we finish this time to parkour section, we get the second plug, unplug the first plug we got, and then plug in unplug the first plug we got, and then plug both plugs into these two outlets near the definitely not foreshadowing gate, which then opens the definitely not foreshadowing gate, giving us a path towards the Monsieur. As we enter the monster's domain, we see three strange dudes admiring their shiny victory bell. These three are the Extension Corps. I don't know what their deal is, but I gave this one an Elvis Presley impression, this one a Big the Cam impression, and I gave this floating boy a French accent. Because I thought it was funny. When we make eye contact with them, Connie's all like, "Aye, what ye doing messing with the old sprite bulbs and the great lighthouse, ye bilge rats?" And Floaty Boy's all like, "Oh, we just are selling perfectly legal copies of old Pokemon games. Which one would you like? Fire red? Leaf green? Black and blue?" And Luigi's all like, "Oh ragazzo, mi partecipi called the Nova Leaf Green." Then X is like, "Oh, too bad. The only games we give to Le Resistance members like you is Black and Blue. Goblick, kill them!" And then the trio skedaddles. Say hello to Goblick, our final boss of Lushgreen Sea. Be wary of this dude, for he is at the scarily high level of 12. Wait a minute, that ain't right. Good news, those dumb extension fellows forgot to hack WonderGuard onto their perfectly IV'd specimen of a victory bell. Bad news, we still have to kill this thing. Honestly, I made the Victory Bell comment as a joke, but Goblick here is literally built like a Pokemon. He's got a ton of Pokemon moves like Spit Up, Bind, Vine Whip, Leech Life, Power Whip, and even his boss theme kind of sounds like it's from a Pokemon game, even though it's definitely not. I'll be honest with you, the theme is nice, but I feel like it doesn't fit, you know? The mid-boss theme feels more fitting for this dude, since it sounds like a theme for a big bad monster, while this theme makes me feel like I'm fighting a gym leader in Pokemon. All of the Lighthouse bosses use this theme, and I'm not a huge fan of it. If I was in charge of music order in this game, I would probably swap the music between the mid-bosses and the actual bosses so that the Lighthouse bosses get the mid-boss theme and the mid-bosses get this theme. Except for one specific boss who, I believe, deserves the better sounding mid-boss theme. That boss you'll see much later. Anyways, this boss was fine. All it consisted of was me stomping on it due to its weakness-colored spot on his head, until Luigi leveled up enough to learn Hurricane.
Mario.
And then after I used the Hurricane, I wailed on it some more using these shells until it died. Oh, you should keep the boots that this dude drops as well. It restores health when you jump on enemies. It's really good. Once we finish the fight, we get like a ton of sprite bulbs. It's nuts. We also find one of Patriarch's notes. Apparently he's writing down these notes to help out the hero of this world in case they need some info on the big bad. Which is good for us since we can learn a bit from his notes. According to Patriarch, the Extension Corps, the guys who created the level 12 Victory Bell, are apparently trying to collect as much spike bulbs as possible. For what purpose? He doesn't know. And neither will we till the next episodes. From History's Front Lines, Patriarch. That's a nice sign off. Anyway, we take the elevator to the top of the lighthouse. and watch Connie bring light back to the Great Lighthouse.
Show us the path we must take to restore all of Concordia. Oh, that is right.
As we sail off towards the colorful sea with 4 islands to our name, this is where the story of Lushgreen Sea comes to a close. I gotta say, for the first part of this game, it's pretty good. The gameplay is just like old times, with a few exceptions, and the art style is pretty nice, if a bit bright. And when I mean a bit bright, I mean every time I get off this game after a good day's worth of recording, everything on my PC becomes bleak and gray like the entire month of January in Persona 3 Reload. I've also been noticing that sometimes the game music just goes silent for a solid second. I'm not sure why though. Maybe it's my HDMI video capture hardware and that's the problem. But personally, I don't really care. When I play a game, I usually get sucked into it and I'll most likely miss a problem here or there. And I'll especially miss it if I find that the gameplay is fun and the world is slightly interesting. Which they are in this game, so I don't really care. I'll have to give Lushgreen Sea a solid garden salad out of a destroyed outlet. Oh, and one more thing between you and me. This video took 4 months to complete, and I'm hoping it does well, so please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. I want this video to do well, and sharing it might boost the popularity of my video, so please, pretty please do that for me. I'm excited to see what comes next in the colorful sea, so until then, I've been the Vast Gamer, God bless all of you, and I'll see you till then. Bye-bye. I got something to report to you, boss. We went to feed Goblik the spike bulbs just like you said, but some interlopers came in unannounced and tried to stop us. Don't worry, we got away easily, but we lost one of our Gobliks. They also might be trying to reconnect all of Concordia, which is bad for your plans, man. That is a worrying report. Poor Goblik, that barrel boy will be missed. No sir, that's Spark. Goblik is the plant monsieur, boss. I see. And tell me, who were these interlopers? They were two mustachio men, one colored red and one green, a little Concordian girl that might be a botanist, and a flying piggy bank. But don't worry, boss. We'll make them pay. I see. Just use caution. X, was it? It's X, boss. Xbox, could you describe the interlopers you three encountered again? I forgot. Oh, sacre bleu.